We've finally connected with Philadelphia Union, a guy that has signed a brand new spanking 3-year new deal, CJ Sapong. CJ, welcome to Red Card, my friend.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me again. Sorry for being oh so elusive. I've been losing track of time over here. It's been a little bit of a whirlwind.
No problem, CJ. We thought you were on that presidential debate run all over the US of A. We couldn't track you down there for a while.
I'm here now, though. I'm here now.
Absolutely. CJ, let's talk about it. A big time in your life, a big moment signing a new 3-year deal. Philadelphia Union believe in you. They've shown that now with this new 3-year deal. You're in the prime of your career. How important is this for you personally, but more important for the team once and for all to jump that hurdle and get into the playoffs to show the respect back to the Philly fans?
Yes, man. Timing is everything. You know, you noted about how this is, around the prime of my career. Personally, for me, a lot of things have been manifesting that have been leading me towards what I feel like is my ultimate goal as a player and a person. So I'm, with that coinciding with the organization taking, the steps in the right direction, it's only right that I'd be fortunate and blessed enough to be a part of that development and that progression. And I think, like I said earlier, the timing is perfect. And I'm in a different place now as opposed to all the other years that I've been in the league. And I feel like I definitely have a whole lot to offer and more.
So CJ, let's talk about this season. How important is it for your squad, for your team to get off on the winning note right away? You can see now that the Eastern Conference is no longer a conference to be looked at and laughed upon. We've got Orlando with Kaká, Jovinko here in Toronto. You got Drogba in Montreal. On and on. We could keep talking. The Red Bulls with Dax McCarty. It is becoming just as good, in my opinion, as the Western Conference, and no game can be taken off. How important is it to start off on the winning note so you guys can have some confidence?
Oh, yeah. That's exactly why it's important, because that's what's going to lead to the confidence. I do believe that we're going to be faced, just like most teams face in the season. You're going to be faced with trials and tribulations, ups and downs. But ultimately, it's the teams that keep it together as a whole and then make sure that they're playing their best soccer towards the end of the season. So the more we can do in the beginning and in the middle of the season of, sticking together and developing a cohesive environment so that we will be able to get through the grinds and the tough spots of the season. I think that's what's really going to determine how well this organization does moving forward.
And to be honest, CJ, I think for the first time in the Philadelphia Union history, you guys are solid in 3 areas that I believe are key to your success. In the back, you got Ray Gaddis, one of the best in MLS. In the middle, you got Maurice Edu, who is a warrior, a battler, a leader. And then up front, they're expecting you to put the ball in the back of the net. And I think these 3 key positions, concrete, solid for your squad, are going to help for a real successful season. Talk about these other 2 leaders on this team and the veterans as well that are going to help out the youngsters.
Exactly. And you mentioned, a couple guys that are among the few that are going to be leaders this season. But I think you mentioned something really, really good there is we have the players in the right spots. Now it's a matter of making it a fluid thing and all of us getting on the same page and almost every player understanding their leadership role. And, if you're a leader on the defense, that's your job to get everybody else under that same mentality. And, maybe you spark up more competition in practice, not to go too far off topic, but I was just watching the 30 for 30 on the 85 Bears and how the defense and the offense, were competing every practice. Yes, they're on the same team, but they also wanted their presence to be felt. I think that's something that if we can kind of adopt that culture, with our practice, it'll make perfect and translate into the game.
What has head coach Jim Curtin said early on in this preseason? What is he expecting not only from you, but from the whole squad, mentally speaking, this year, to put away everything that's happened in the past with this franchise and to really focus on 2016? What has he said to you guys that has really stuck out in your head early on?
Well, first and foremost, expect more out of yourself. I think when you do that, you will now start to lead by example, and your teammates will see this. And now, when your teammate is doing their job, they're more than happy to do a little bit of your job as well. It's a new direction, and we all have to assimilate into the philosophy and the theory. What I think Ernie has done and Jim have done a great well of this season is, from day one, we were looking over our goals, PowerPoints on the things that we need to accomplish, things on the field that need to be done to ensure wins. So now we're all on the same page. So now it's a matter of working towards it to the point where, we're executing at an efficient level.
CJ, Ernie Stewart comes on board, and I believe this is the most important hiring of the Philadelphia Union franchise in history. I believe this guy is going to bring a different mentality, a different culture. I've spoken to a lot of people in Philly early on. They have told me that he is going to change the atmosphere, the culture all around for this squad for the better. And I believe it. Here's a former national team player, a guy that lives and breathes the game, a guy that is a student of it. And I think this is the right guy to lead this franchise. What have you noticed early on about Ernie? What has he said to you and the team?
Exactly. Yeah, he has the mindset of a champion. He has the mindset of a professional. That's something this organization has. Honestly, that's what happens when you aren't fortunate to play in big games or win trophies. But this organization hasn't had that professional championship mindset, and that's what he's bringing into the equation now. And you put a great point out there as far as what he's developing. He's developing the culture. He's not a guy that's just trying to get, a couple pieces here to win a trophy next season. He's trying to develop a culture so that from our academy through our USL team, through the first team, the philosophies ring true in every team. And that's going to develop the Philadelphia Union for generations. So that's big time. And it's easy for us to get caught up in the whirlwind now, but like I said, I'm very excited to just start from ground zero, and whatever the next day brings, approach those challenges and keep overcoming them individually and as an organization.
CJ, we'll close it out with this. We really appreciate your time, but I said this to FC Dallas technical director. He joined us just before you, Fernando Clavillo, and I said to him, this is the most important time, the greatest time for a player to be playing in MLS. And I see the leaps and the growth of the league, as we said, Jovinko, Drogba, Kaká, on and on. We're seeing cities bidding and trying to get into MLS. I think this is a fantastic time for a young North American player. Talk about now, starting the season with a lot of the attention all over the world, finally starting to give the respect to MLS and how great that is.
Yeah, man, it's another level, and us players are definitely starting to feel it. It rings through all different, generations that are already in the league. The younger guys who, are subjected to a lot of older guys' stories of how it used to be and whatnot. But it's interesting that we all at this moment realize we are on the cusp of something greater. And I can already see it within my own team of how much hungrier guys are, how much more professional they feel. So that's always going to bring out the best out of guys, and that makes the competition, that more present all across the league, and just makes for better entertainment for the fan too. So all the pieces are in the right place to, expand this league on an exponential level. And what we all have to do, whether it's you interviewing players, me playing, front office staff, we all have to also enjoy this moment and understand that we are part of history. So.
Well, you're bang on, CJ. It's the first time in the last couple of years that I've been inundated with the interviews and talked to from people in Italy, whether it's newspapers or radio shows, you name it, because Jovinko is here in the city of Toronto, but because MLS is finally getting attention for the quality of play and for the money it's throwing around. And I think it's fantastic. I really think it is fantastic for all involved. CJ, good luck in 2016. Congratulations on the new 3-year deal. Keep smiling, keep putting the ball in the back of the net, and most importantly, keep helping out the youth out there in Philadelphia when you're not playing and practicing, because you and I both know that's more important than any goal or any victory in life, my friend.
You said it best, my man. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
God bless and have a great season, CJ. Take care.
All right, my man.